And we're synced up like women's periods. Hello, hello, hello. And welcome to I Don't Want to Be a Piece of Shit. I'm your host, Carter frickin' Dockerty. What's up, y'all? It's been a while. It's been a while since I first saw you. Great band, Stained. If you haven't heard them, check them out. They're a new band, new on the scene. Haven't heard much of them, but Stained, great stuff. Been a while since I've done a little podcast here, solo. Been doing them with guests. Been a little bit of a different format. Have not been as. The point of the podcast here is that I'm trying to be a better man. Every day I want to be one step better than the last. Okay? And I hope you do too. I hope everybody does. Some people don't. Some people don't care how good they are, and they are just like, my main goal in life is to be a billionaire and then have kids on an island. That's some people's main goal, not mine. I want you to know that. That's not my main goal. My main goal is to wake up every day and be a better person. Maybe one day be such a good person. Maybe I have a little family or something. And then I have a wife that I have coitus with every day. That's my goal. One day. Maybe. Or not. Maybe I'll just be gay. That's a thing I've done a lot of times. Be gay. It's fine. It's fine if you're gay. Oh my God. That's a loud car. That's a loud car, and it's not very cool. Not a cool car. I don't really get car people. I don't know if any of you guys... Jesus, bro. Because you're in... Jesus. Jeez. I don't know if you guys can... I don't know if you guys are picking up what I'm putting down or what's been farting out of the back of that car, but it's a loud car, and I bet you hear it on the inside of the car, too. So how are you going to play your tunes, or how are you going to play I Don't Want to Be a Piece of Shit podcast hosted by Carter Dockerty in your car if it's going to be that loud? Bet he's not waking up every day going, I'm going to be a better person. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm judging. I'm judging other people, thinking I'm better than other people just because for the last 2 days I've kept a journal. I've kept a journal for the last 2 days, marking down all my thoughts, all the things that I want to do. And I'm acting like... I've kept a journal since I've started this podcast. So ever since I did a bunch of mushrooms in the middle of the woods and decided I needed to be a better man, I kept a little journal. And now sometimes I go through great stints of filling that thing out, and I'll say it. That's what I'm doing better, is when I'm filling out that journal. And also, I'll let you guys in on a little secret. When I'm filling out that journal a lot of these are getting done. A lot of podcasting is being done. This podcast is going to save the dang planet. And if I'm not doing it every day, then what am I doing? Maybe not every day. I'll do this every week. And it's you guys see this. I have people that listen to the podcast, and I'm shocked that people still listen, even with my inconsistent upload schedule. That's on me, y'all. I don't know who else it would be. It's my podcast. And it's because I was on a great streak of just being good. Right when this podcast was getting hot and steamy, I was like freaking trying my best, being out there, and I think I got knocked down, but I'll get up again. Bum 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 down. We all get knocked. I don't know a lot of words to songs, guys. I just know general vibes. But I got knocked down. And in that I let it get the better of me. I let it continue, because here's the thing about getting knocked down: you can get back up. You just got to get that streak going again. I let the streak be a poop streak in my nunders. That's what I had happen. I crashed out. I crashed out over a long periodically amount of time. And you could probably tell it through the podcast episodes. I was crashing out. I mean, the last episode, I was drinking a beer on the ep. What kind of guy is that? That's not the guy I want to be. Maybe I don't know. But here's the deal. I went sober. I started this podcast, and I was so proud of myself with all of the changes in life that were happening. And I made a lot of... I went from a tubby little circle head into an ab-wielding fast guy. I was really fast and strong. I'm still pretty fast and strong, I'll be honest with you. No brag, 539 mile. but I was losing myself a little mentally. Went back on the substances, started just kind of not really staying in check. The word I'm looking for is mindful. I was not being mindful. I was doing actions. I was easing desire, fulfilling desires that I had without thinking about why I might have them, and just doing whatever I felt like doing at a moment's notice. And that's not how you're supposed to live your life. You're supposed to be intentional. I think. I don't know. But I think you are. Because when I'm living intentionally, I might not get everything that I want done or accomplished, but at least I knock some things off. To put it into perspective, I used to make to-do lists every day. I would put simple things like freaking brushing my teeth in these to-do lists. But by the end of the day, I would see that they were all crossed off, everything that I had on there, and I was getting the stuff done that I wanted to have done. Now, what I'll do is I'll just kind of have a general idea in my brain of what I want to have done, and then I'll forget some of the things and be like, what did I want to do again after this? And then those things getting even something as simple as getting a haircut. I'll be like, all right, I'll find a barber tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes and I'm like, but I'm playing chess on my phone right now. Can't find a barber if I'm playing chess. And so I do things like that. And that's not who I want to be. And I've kind of, what is nice though is that in that whole upswing, that upstreak of good behaviors, of being a good boy, a goody two-shoes, a good Catholic boy, a good representation of the man Jesus Christ wanted me to be. I don't know. I felt like I acquired skills and tools that I still have with me to this day. So even though I'm a little puddle of a man, puddle of mud, maybe I'm the one who is a schizophrenic psycho, yeah. Now I'm the one. Puddle of Mud, great band. Check them out, they're new to the scene. And I think I can utilize these tools, these skills that I've found to continue myself forward. So what I've done is for the last 2 days, I was like, you know what, Carter? We're freaking building this house again. We're going to the foundation. Let's pour the concrete real quick. And I poured that concrete. I wrote in my journal, I said, day 1 of 100. We go in no weed, no booze, trying to spend minimal amount of money on anything, because I just sometimes mindlessly spend. I just go well, come on, live a little, spend $30 multiple times in a day, and you're like, I just spent $120 a day, and I don't make $120 in 3 days. So what are you thinking there, buddy boy? But sometimes you just do that because you're like, viva la vie. I don't know what that means. Viva la vida? That's that guy that died. What's his name? Uh-oh. Usher. I don't know who it was. Gosh, been listening to the song Lonely today by Akon. Different black guy. Good song. Another new artist on the scene. Check him out. But I have these tools that I'm going to utilize. So journaling, I've realized, makes me feel a lot gooder than it does before I journal. I realize that I can cement the feeling that I have and go Carter, remember this little feeling that you had. Remember how you felt when you did that thing. And so I can look at that, and then I can also set intentions in there, and then it's freaking in the tablet, you know? The tablet meaning the tablets that are stone. I'm making a reference to Moses, not like an iPad. But it's in the tablet that thou shalt not drinketh. Thou shalt not drinketh the blood of Christ. Amen. And I think I'll follow that more intentionally than if I just had this as an idea floating in the brain. So that's step one. Also, we're going to get freaking jacked again. I've just been not caring, and it's not about getting jacked. It's about the what's it called when synergy? No, not synergy. I don't know. Synergy's the word I'm going to use. What is it? What is it when you do things? To get a lot of loud cars. I'll tell you that. I'm in my mom's porch right now, by the way, if you were curious about this beautiful scenery that I got here. I'm home. I'm about to go to Phoenix next week to do some stand-up comedies out there. And then I'm going to come back home to Ohio, and I'm going to sit on this beautiful porch once again next week. Maybe I'll do another little solo ep. Maybe if you're lucky. Maybe if somebody tickles me the right way, I'll do another solo. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. But the being jacked, at least striving towards it, the effort that you put into being jacked makes you just feel good. You go like, God, I did a hard thing today. You know, you run 10 miles. You're like, I freaking ran 10 miles, you know? That's a lot. That's a hoof and a half. That's a boot and a scoot and a loop-de-loop, I'll tell you that. But the clarity you have, it's almost like a mushroom trip. And I've been doing quite a few of those. Been doing quite a few mushroom trips lately, and, you know, when your mushroom trips tell you some scary things, like they go, you're a piece of shit, who the hell do you think you are? You're garbage. When your mushroom trips are telling you that, you better start making some changes. And I'll tell you, every single one's told me that. So, self-value, low right now. And it's actually pretty high in terms of, I don't know. I'm on the mend. I'm feeling good, all right? Because it's day 2. Day 2. Day 3. I don't know. The other day, I freaking hit a full body lift just to, like, refresh, reset, and I was happy with that. Yesterday, I just ran 2 miles with my dog, with my childhood dog, my high school childhood dog. My childhood dog died this summer. R.I.P. Jersey. Miss you, baby girl. And so, even just a 2-mile run, I think, like, that was my recovery. And I just felt so much gooder than I did before. And I had to do it in this decade. They offered me, like, 15, I don't know, 10, 5 million, some shit like that. But I turned it down. And I'm feeling good right now. I journaled, and I uploaded a podcast to Spotify that I forgot to. Sorry about that. It's the episode with Aiden McCluskey. God, what a rambling ep, huh? And check it out if you haven't already. But I think I'm excited for this new chapter because I'm gonna be honest with you. I was boozing hard. I just went on freaking family vacay. I went on 2 family vacations this last month. What a fat month. Here was my little schedule that I had. I was in Chicago, my home, the city I reside, the scene that I'm king of, and I drove all the way to Southwest Michigan. And in Southwest Michigan, I had a family vacation with my dad's side of the family. Now, I love my dad's side of the family. They're such good Catholic folk. They're such good, earnest people. God, love the Dockertys. And but my dad, he's like the black sheep of the family, I'll be honest. My dad's like a weirdo. He's a booze hound. I'll be honest, I haven't talked to the guy in a few years. It's, I think some people do that. Some people realize that they're not supposed to communicate with a guy that's kind of not your favorite. Okay, it's worse than that, but I'm not going to, like, air out dirty laundry like I do all the time on this podcast. But if you could probably connect dots if you've been a listener. So I don't talk to him, but I was like, I would love to. I don't get to see my cousins on that side. I rarely get to see my grandma, and so I was like, let's do it. Let's join them for the week. So 20 people, all in one house in Southwest Michigan, and what a time we had. What a beautiful, beautiful time. I just got to go there for a couple days. I went there for half the vacation. Honestly, perfect amount of time. 3 or 4 days is the perfect amount of time for a family vacation. And we just hung out on Lake Michigan, and we did some physical activities together. We ran a family mile. Now, I was being a little braggadocious about my 5:39 mile. I'll be honest with you, not actually a 5:39 mile. We ran a family mile on a track. My uncles. This is a weird thing to say. Is my uncles are freaking fast as heck. I got third place in my family mile out of like 10 people running. And what I really ran was a 5:50, but we're going to say 5:39 because my Strava, the little app that recorded me, said I ran a mile in 5:39. So that's what I got to brag to everybody online about, and I was happy. I was so freaking fast. I hadn't ran in a long time, so I'm like still fast. And that's another skill that I acquired during my great grind. I used to never be that fast, and now I'm still that fast, even while being a piece of shit. Because I hadn't ran in 2 months before that, and I'd been boozing heavy the last month beforehand. So, come on, pulling out. I'm going to be honest with you. I probably get it from my papas, because my papa, like I said, booze hound, just general piece of shit. He ran a 6:20, which is bullshit. Come on, how do you run that fast? He's like 50. So, yeah, I get the Mickey Mantle gene from my daddy's side. And that trip made me really realize that, you know what, Carter? Even though you're at a low point right now, you've truly grown. You really have. Just as an example of how I've grown is every night it was one of my aunts and uncles, like my grandma's kids. Each of them had a night that they were responsible for cooking dinner for all 20 people. And my dad's night came up, and I'm going to be like, hi, Mom. I'm doing my podcast. So my dad's night came up, and it was his job to cook for 20 people. This guy has never cooked a goddamn meal in his life. 50 years old, probably doesn't even know how to turn on a stove. This guy, and so he was like, you know what? He's also pretty flush with cash. He's a UPS driver. I guess they do well. And he was like, you know, I'm just going to order everybody Jimmy John's, which sounds great, you know? Then we're all at the beach. My papa's, he stays behind. He realizes that there's no Jimmy John's around, and we're still at the beach, and he doesn't know what he's going to do, so he just kind of like, because he's texting all of us, and we don't have service on the beach. No, you can't reach the sky up there. Is that how phones work? No, phones hit a tower. What goes up to a satellite? Is the internet up there? I always thought the internet beamed to space and back, but I just thought about it. There's cell phone towers. Whatever. We weren't close enough to a tower on the dang beach. And so he couldn't reach us about what food we would like instead of Jimmy John's. And that's, you know, just order pizza. Just do something. We get back, he's like, what the frick, bro? What the heck? Nobody wants to tell me what the food is? What they want? And, we're like, we didn't have service. What are you talking about, crazy person? And he's just really upset. He's like, well, you guys better figure it out. I'm not doing this. And then he sits out in the lawn and pouts like a baby, like a child. My father, 50. And so he was supposed to do it with his sister, who was going to half the bill with him, who was at the beach as well. And she's like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do now. And I just go like, all right, you know what you're going to do? You're going to go to the grocery store. You're going to purchase some burgers, some hot dogs, some potato salads, some coleslaw, and I'm going to grill them up. And then they brought it back. I grilled it up for everybody. I just was like, I got the level head in the situation. I can freaking maneuver. And I whipped up the burgers and the hot dogs for 20. And I just was the man of the house. So I'm doing that comparative thing where I compare myself to others and to make myself feel better. But I did. I felt good. I felt gooder than he did, I bet. Because then he pouted and then he left before we even ate. What a goddamn pussy. So freaking mogged my dad on the grill. Was happy with that. Was pumped as heck on that, actually. And then the trip ended, and I drove from southwest Michigan to northeast Ohio, where we are currently. And god dang, had a beautiful weekend at Hilarities Comedy Club featuring for my good friend Alex Dragovich. Asked me out of the blue, going, hey, are you from northeast Ohio? And I was like, I am. And he's like, well, do you want a feature for me? Because they're not giving me a hotel for my feature, so if you can stay with your family. And I was like, what a perfect little scenario, because I'm going on family vacation. And then I'm going to go to Northeast Ohio. That's halfway. I'm already home. And then the next week, I set up a one-night Friday gig, headlining gig, in Akron, Ohio, where I'm actually from, headlining the Killbox Comedy Club. Which, whatever. Not going to say too much. Great show, though. I had a blast on the show. Guess what, guys? You're going to believe this. Did an hour of stand-up comedy. I hear you applauding through the phone. An hour. And it made me feel good. Good as heck. The whole hour went decent. There were some jokes that were like a dip, and it's also tough because half the room was like family and former wrestling coaches and stuff like that. But besides the point, did an hour. Come on. And a couple of people that came out from the show came and saw me at Hilarities the week before, and they were like, you're so funny. And I was like, well, if you think I'm funny, come to my show next week where I'm doing a full headline set. And then they were like, we just might do that. Had two groups do that. Come on. It's like a whole 45-minute difference in drives, too. And they... So, felt pretty good about that. I'll let you know. Felt pretty good. But I'm going to be honest, that whole week, chain smoking weed, drinking. Probably my headline night, I like chugged 3 Captain and Diets just to be like, I need to feel normal for this set. I don't want to be that guy. So even with all the good things, I had a blast doing stand-up comedies, and I had a blast seeing family. I just was like, there are still some things that you are doing that would make you just like, that would dial it up a little bit. And right after my headline show in Akron, literally that night, I get done, show's over at about 11. I take a little while to get home. Everybody's a little mad at me, but I get back 12:30. We drive straight through the night with my mom's side of the family to North Carolina, and I go on another family vacation. So this is 2 family vacations, and then with my mom's side, it's 25 people in like multiple condos, but 25. That's a lot. That's 5 more than the last vacation. And this one's got a lot more young children. Actually, not more young children. Love my family. Love them. But my dad's side of the family, the children are a little bit more well-behaved. I don't know if anybody's... Sorry if you're listening to this, mom's side of the family, but them kids are bad. Just a little... Whatever. So it was and then this vacation was a week long, and it's heavy boozing. God, I will say, my gears out of whack, off balance, off kilter, just threw me off a little bit. Tough week, because it's a tough thing to do where I'm on the beach. I'm in Ocean Isle, North Carolina, freaking beautiful. But it's a week long with a bunch of little kids right on the beach. And there's nothing you do besides just hang out. And it just gets a little redundant and tough. And it's so funny to complain about a vacation on the beach like that. But I still had a good time. Then that Friday, lo and behold, former 2-time guest of the podcast, good friend, who I'm featuring for next week in Cleveland, Aiden McCluskey, was headlining the club in Wilmington, North Carolina. And my great friends, Richie and Nikki Kaminsky, love you guys, they live there, and they were like, we'll drive you to and from the gig. And so I drive out, and I just do a guest spot with Aiden McCluskey at Dead Crow Comedy Club. Great club. Oh, my God. Top-notch club. If you live in Wilmington, North Carolina, go to Dead Crow Comedy Club. God, what a great club. Had a good time there. Jet back, right? I drive back from that set. Family does the same thing. I don't know what's up with these people, but they love driving through the night. So I get back from that show, and then they're like, you know how we said we were going to leave in the morning? Actually, we're going to leave right now. So I'm pretty schmammered. I got a little lit up after that show, too. And I'm hammered on a 10-hour car ride. 11, 12 hours. Not a good time. Not an enjoyable time, and that made me self-reflect on... No, that's not true. That's not true at all. I actually had a good time at the beginning of the car ride. Here's the thing about drinking. I talk shit on it. I go like, it's a poison. It ruins your life. The thing is, though, this time around drinking, I honestly had a blast. There were some like little things that I was like, but I had a general good time. But the issue isn't what the problems when I was drinking. It's how it affected my life on a macro scale. Look at them words, macro. You ever even heard of that? And the issue was, I just like it would be hard if you allow yourself to drink. It's like what's the word I'm looking for? It's hard to practice. What's it called when you just don't do too much every time? Restraint's good. But that's not the word I'm looking for. You do just a little. I can't think of it. If you can think of it, let me know. Would you do just a little of something? When you just, and then you're like, oh, that's enough. I've had enough. Well, I was also doing a pretty good job of that, honestly, with alcohol. I was never getting too lit up. But I just feel like I would drink too many days in a row. Or multiple times within a short period of time where it's like, this cannot be good for your health. And also what it was doing was jacking up my anxiety in general. I think same thing with weed is I'm just high all the time. And I love to smoke blunts. That's my favorite thing is blunts. And now that I've just have 2 days away from weed, I'm coughing up freaking black stuff. I bet as soon as I'm like a month off of drinking, I'll start to see like lines in my stomach again because the inflammation will go down. Literally a year ago, I had freaking 6-pack abs. Don't mean to brag. I'm only like 6 pounds heavier than I was then, and I'm stronger and faster than I was then. I'm just freaking being a piece of shit in other avenues. So I decided as soon as I got back from that trip, I went and saw my friend Blake Hammond, great comic. I should have him on the podcast soon. I've actually attempted to record podcast episodes with him, and every time we hang out, I always go like, let's not. Podcasting's gay. Let's just be present with each other, man. Let's just look at each other's faces and communicate. But I went up there, saw him. God, he's so funny. At Hilarities Comedy Club, probably the greatest comedy club in the country. Hilarities. I want you guys to know that. Cleveland, Ohio, Hilarities. If you live in Cleveland, God damn it, you haven't gone to Hilarities? What are you doing? Saw him have a great set. And then now I'm here. Now I'm on my mom's porch. I'm flying out on Thursday to go to Phoenix. Going to do comedy out there. I'm ready to see my buddy, my good friend, Spencer DeMolke, best friend, great comic, loud truck. But I'll probably have Spencer on the next episode of the pod. That'll be good. I'm just generally, I'm happy that I'm Carter Dockerty. I don't want to be a piece of shit 2.0. That's what this is. Starting it up again. I feel like this is actually what it is that a year ago I had this freaking huge push. Wait, that wasn't even a year ago. That was like 2 years ago. Almost. Jeez. But 2 years ago, I had this big push to, like, just change everything, dump it all out, change it up, be a better man. And I think I've wanted to recreate that whole inspiration that I had, that whole motivation, the big wave movement that I had, just the freaking everyday journaling, wanting to be better. But I kept trying to, like, artificially recreate that with mushrooms. I think I kept like trying to go like, all right, bro, you're just gonna do a bunch of mushrooms, go out in the woods, figure out who you are. And I don't think that's what it is. I think mushrooms just are letting you know where you're at, but they're not gonna let you figure out who you are. Figuring out who you are, that's on you, buddy. That's on you to figure out. You got to do that day by day. So I'm ready to just do the things that I need to do again. I'm gonna meditate. Maybe I meditate later. I'm gonna I'm going to go for a 4-mile run after this. How does that sound? I'm going to edit this podcast. I'm going to hit render. And as soon as I hit render, I'm going to take my boy Max, that's my high school dog, and we're going to go for a run 4 miles in this little cul-de-sac neighborhood we got here, this little development. What do they call it? Something development. When they all the houses kind of look the same, and they're built by a guy named Ryan. Ryan's Homes. If you're hiring a large corporation to build your home, ew. Hire a guy. Hire the Amish. Heard the Amish, bro, they raise barns. Well, we've gotten to the bottom of it. I think I've let you know where I'm at, and I want you to let me know where you're at. Come back and let me know. I guess it's the end of the episode. I don't have many stand-up dates. This weekend, I'll probably upload this tonight. So if you live in Phoenix, I'll be in Phoenix all weekend doing Don't Tell Comedy. But if you just follow me at Dockerty Comedy, I'll get you free tickets. And then the weekend after that, I'm in Cleveland, Ohio at Hilarities Comedy Club, the greatest comedy club in the country, with former podcast guest Aiden McCluskey. So if you like both of us, which seems like a lot of you do, shoot me a DM at Dockerty Comedy. I'll try to get you some free tickets. I doubt anybody's made it to this point that will come to the show. But that's been it. I hope you don't want to be a piece of shit. Peace.